You probably just Google what is Corepunk, and I'm here to tell you what Corepunk is. Corepunk is a new MMORPG with a top-down view developed in Ukraine by Artificial Core. It's featuring 12 heroes, also called classes, but also called heroes. Also, the game will have PvE, PvP with dungeon, raids, battlegrounds, and much more. The game is set to start the open beta in Q4 2020, that basically means October, November or December. The game is confirmed to have 12 different classes in the game, but the developers are actually calling them heroes, and each hero has 3 different specs. As you also have seen in World of Warcraft, each of the specs can different functions. Some of the heroes might have 2 specs, that is damage and one having his tank, or maybe you have a hybrid one where it has 1 tank, DPS or healer. In the game we actually get 4 functions, so you can either be a tank, DPS, healer or support, but developers are saying support and healer is almost the same, but with some small changes. The game is also going to have talent trees with each of your spec, where you can change between your specs if you want to be spec 1, 2 or 3. There's also going to be a shared talent tree that is the same for every hero in the game, where you can choose between 3 passive talent tree that maybe will give you attack speed or life leech. You get point by leveling and doing various tasks in the game, and the maximum level is 40. Corepunk is of course also going to have PvE. It's probably going to be the main principle of the game, but of course we'll also have PvP. The game is going to have dungeons that is going to be 4-player group size, and it's going to have normal dungeons with different difficulties, like normal, heroic and so on. The game is also going to have random generated dungeon, and it's also going to have custom dungeons. We don't know yet what custom dungeon means, but it could maybe be something like Neverwinter, where you can build your own dungeons. There's also going to be raids in the game, but the developers are not 100% sure yet if they want to have different difficulties, or if they want to do like World of Warcraft and Vanilla, where you just had 1 raid with 1 difficult and that's everything. Also Destiny 2 is also doing that, another shooting MMO. Raid sizes are not confirmed yet, so we don't know if the group size are going to be 4, 6, 12, 20, 100. We don't know yet. This game is also going to be open world with no loading screens, only between worlds and dungeons / raids. So every time you walk around in the open world there will be no loading screens, but of course when you go into a dungeon or instance based raid or whatever it is, of course there will be a loading screen then. Open world is going to have night and day cycle, and it's also going to change the spawn rate of monsters, but we don't know in which way yet. In open world there's also going to be open world bosses, questing, camps like in MOBAs, and there's also going to be cities you can hang around in. Of course, in Corepunk we're also going to get PvP. There's going to be open world PvP where you're going to have a toggle system that looks like other old school MMORPG games. You cannot disable PvP 100%, but you can actually toggle off PvP. That means if someone kills you, even though you have toggled off PvP, he will get karma points. If he gets enough karma points, he will become a criminal person, and if he became a criminal person and dies, he will lose one of his artifact items. I will come back to what artifacts is. But of course criminals can also do quests or various tasks to get down in karma points and remove the status as criminal. But in this game, of course, if you toggle PvP on and you kill someone else who also have toggled PvP on, you don't get karma points by killing someone. It's also very important to mention that if you kill someone who has not enabled PvP and he's below 3 level of you, you get the criminal status ASAP, and if you die you will lose one of your artifacts. The game is also of course going to have a battleground system, so there's going to be battlegrounds in like other MMOs like World of Warcraft. We don't know yet how big these battlegrounds are, or if they're going to look like a MOBA game, since the combat in this game is a bit MOBA inspired. The game is also going to have arena, 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2 and 3 vs 3. I'm a big fan of arenas. The game is also going to have friend list, groups of 1 to 4 in the normal, you can say, aspects of the game. It's going to have guilds and also some kind of a guild wars in this game, but we don't know much about guilds. The information we have received about guilds and basically the social aspects of the game is very low at the moment, but of course as closer we get to the release or open beta in Q4, we will of course know even more about the game. When we're talking about the control of the game is basically a top-down view game. You move around like in League of Legends and you have all your hero spells from the Q, W, E, R on your keyboard, and then you have your weapons placed on of F1 and F2, and the artifact items you're getting up is using keybind 1 to 6. If you click on space on your keyboard, you will be actually jumping, and you need to use jumping for some of the puzzles in the game. There will probably be a puzzle where you have to jump from edge to edge, and if you don't jump correctly, like in Destiny 2, you'll fall down and die. Economy and crafting is also going to be a thing in Corepunk. First of all, the economy is very important in Corepunk, where there's going to be auction houses where you can buy stuff, sell stuff, and of course earn money doing quests and raiding in the game. Crafting is also going to be a very important thing in the game, as you can actually be so lucky to get a very rare recipe in the game where you can create very rarely legendary items and so on. So this game is both going to be able to give you the best items in the game through raiding, PvP, and also even crafting. So if you're into crafting, this game is definitely going to support you. There's also going to be harvesting games where you can chop down trees, you can mine, and you can find flowers and so on. The game is also going to have social professions like a sheriff, and I think like a sheriff is probably going to be something where you're hunting down criminals in the game. So you know, when people get the PvP status criminal, you can probably become a sheriff and hunt these people down so they don't farm people. Farming in this game is also something that is going to be added in the game, but it's coming later. So you know, like having a farm with crops and so on, like we've seen in LP Online. It is something they say and it's going to come, but it will be first added later in the process. Items in the game will have power level and rarity like others MMOs. So you can see like the power level of the item, like eye level, and then you can also see the rarity like green, blue, pink and yellow. For example, in this case, the best gear in the game will drop from both PvE, PvP, crafting, and the artifacts items is actually the items that is making you stronger. So you know, for example, from League of Legends, when you look at your items at the bottom, they don't change the appearance of your character, but they change your stats. That is exactly the same item system that Corepunk is going to use with artifacts you have that changes your stats and how you use them, but it will not change your appearance. The artifacts can both be passive and they can also have active abilities. So if you have an artifact with an active ability, it will be between the key binding on 1 to 6. But if it's passively, it will of course only do passive effects like in Minecraft dungeons. Armor in this game on how you actually look will not change anything, it's only going to change how you look. There's nothing more in this. And of course they have confirmed that you can either buy items in this game in the game shop for real money, or you can clear high-end content in the game and get really cool set of armors. The game is also going to have mounts in the game, so if you're into mounts and riding around, the game is also of course going to support that. Lastly, we're going to talk about the pricing model of the game. The game is going to be a buy to play, so you have to pay money for buying the game once. So after you bought the game, it's your game and you can now play it as you want. Like other MMOs used to be in old days before everyone almost went free to play. The game is also going to have a battle pass, probably like Fortnite, where every month, for every second month or third month, there will be a battle pass where you can grind through it and get a lot of nice cosmetic items. They have confirmed all the items you can get for real money in the game is only going to be cosmetic, and there will be no pay to win. So you cannot buy items that will make you stronger, get faster experience points, anything. It's only pure cosmetic. And I know a lot of people is probably now saying it's still pay to win if I can look like a god just buying items from the store. No, don't worry. They have confirmed that items that drops from raids, PvP, so on is still going to look better. But of course you can also get armor in the shop that will still look nice, but the coolest armor in the game is of course coming from raids, high-end PvP and so on. So thanks for watching my video, and I hope I explained exactly to you what is Corepunk about. If you want to know more about Corepunk, you can always join the official Corepunk Discord, and the developers and all the moderators team will be sitting ready for answering your questions. And well, thanks for watching and have a really nice evening. Peace out.